Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Chantel, and I'm the creator behind Pigger and Roses, a digital planning shop on Etsy. And obviously, I'm kind of obsessed with iPads. My very first iPad was an iPad mini, but my real obsession started with the iPad 6th generation that introduced Apple Pencil compatibility. It kind of opened up a whole new world for me. I now do digital planning full time, and this recent release of iPads introduced a new version of the iPad mini, a really significant new version, and a new iPad Generation 9. And that's what we'll be talking about today. If you would like to see my thoughts, stay tuned, and I'm just about to cover it. Let's start out with the iPad Generation 9. At $329, I'm gonna go ahead and say, in my opinion, this is the best deal in a tablet on the market, especially if you're interested in digital art, digital planning, digital note-taking, which I assume is why you're here versus on like a big tech influencer's channel. So my thoughts on this one are pretty similar to its predecessors. Obviously, what I think is special about the budget iPads are the Apple Pencil compatibility. So if choosing a budget iPad allows you to purchase the Apple Pencil, I think that's going to be worth a lot more than trying to get a more expensive model and not getting the accessories, because I think that's what really makes Apple products, especially iPads, so special. Again, talking about it being similar to its predecessors, that's for sure true. But you're looking at some really significant upgrades with this model that if you've never bought an iPad before, you might as well buy this one because the price is really the same as it was before. You're looking at double storage, a faster chip, the A13 chip, I believe, and that is what's in iPhone 11s. It's definitely gonna give you increased speed. You're looking at an upgraded camera and True Tone display. It really is a good deal. The only thing I will say, and this is super nitpicky because I'm obviously like such a girly type of girl, the front is it's black now. So you have two color choices for the back, but you don't have that white bevels on the front anymore. It's black. So I liked the white, but that's like a really tiny nitpicky thing for sure. The iPad Generation 9 is compatible with your first generation Apple Pencil. This is a question I get a lot. The Apple Pencil Generation 1 and the Apple Pencil Generation 2 are not interchangeable. Generally, these work with the older or more inexpensive versions, and these work with the Generation 2 pencil works with the more expensive models. So I will say, if you have or want to use the Generation 2 Apple Pencil and you want that like magnetic connection, you're going to maybe want to get a different model. But I will say, I do still like the Generation 1 Apple Pencil. It's true, it is a little bit annoying to use the little plug-in feature underneath here to charge it and connect it. But again, it's a much cheaper price point, so just something to kind of keep in mind. And I will say that I have been asked, are you going to notice a lag with this? You are definitely going to notice a little bit of a lag with the Apple Pencil and the iPad. You'll even notice it not being as fast as some of or all of the more expensive versions. But again, the price point kind of negates a lot of those issues. And I think that if you have never used an iPad before, you're likely not going to even notice. Here's my thing with the budget models, and it will kind of maybe always be that way. I think they're unmatched in value. I think they're a great way to enter into digital art, digital note-taking. And if you are just into looking for something that you can entertain yourself, watch videos, scroll the internet, you might as well get this and be able to do some of those other things. I don't think there's really much competition in for this kind of tablet. So, and if choosing a less expensive option allows you to go for something like an Apple Pencil, maybe even a keyboard, I think that's definitely the way to go. Next up, we're gonna talk about the Mini 6. I have it in the purple with the purple folio case, and obviously this is the most exciting release we've seen in a long time. This is the full redesign of the Mini. So you might remember the Minis looking a lot like the budget iPads, and now when you look at a Mini, it looks a lot more like an Air, like a miniature Air, or if you look at it just from the front, like a Pro. The redesign has also made the iPad Mini 6 compatible with the Apple Pencil Generation 2, and I think this also makes it a really compelling choice, because if you're going for something like this, you like small, you like compact, and you're looking at a very, very small footprint with everything that you need all in one place. And this model is really no joke. You're looking at an A15 chip, you're looking at a USB-C port, and this little guy is very fast. And to be honest, I haven't noticed a big difference between using this and using my Pro besides its size. So if you're just into a smaller iPad, this might be the way to go. Personally, I'm really excited by this iPad. I think it's a perfect companion iPad. Since I got it, I find myself using it all the time. I find myself carrying it with me. It's the perfect size to use if I'm sketching on the couch or I want to check my planner on the go. And I really like it for that because it really gives me my big iPad experience in a much smaller iPad. Of course, you have to be okay with zooming in and out. It is a much, much smaller screen, but I think it's a really fun one if you're willing to spend the kind of steep price point. So it is $499 for this little guy. It is definitely worth it, I would say, but you have to ask yourself if you're okay with the size. It's definitely something to think about. It is a smaller screen. I will say they made huge use out of the space that you do have. It goes almost all the way to the edge, but it is a smaller iPad, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so I'm obviously no tech reviewer. This is just my personal opinion on the iPads as someone who works with iPads every single day. So I am a small business owner, and my number one form of work, my number one part of my workflow are iPads. So anyways, when I got these, I pulled my followers over on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. Favorite Rose is there as well. And kind of thought I would compile my most frequently asked questions and answer them for you here. So that is what I'm gonna do. So I was not shy about how excited I was about this on my first impression. So one of my questions was, would I be able to use this for my entire workflow? Like, would I give up my bigger iPads for this? Personally, no. I'm obviously going to continue to use my iPad Pros, but if I needed to, I could do basically everything I do on my iPad Pros on this little guy. I just don't know that I would want to. I do prefer a smaller display than a lot of people. I've always chosen the 11-inch Pro over the 12.9-inch Pro, but this is much smaller than that. This is my Pro, so significantly smaller. I do think that if you prefer a smaller screen, you're gonna like this. If you prefer portability, you're gonna like this. But if you notice that you like a bigger display, you're gonna want a bigger display. The next question I got is, which one would I get for digital art? So I imagine this means this as if it was my only device. I would go with the Mini because it's quicker. It does move quicker, and I now know the difference because I have Pro models. So I am noticing the speed, and it does bother me when things don't move as fast. But I will say it is significantly more expensive. And I think that you can absolutely do digital art on the iPad Generation 6. It's how I started my entire career. So I think it's a viable, you could really go with either. You just have to kind of look at what your budget is. And I will say for digital art, what's the most important thing is the Apple Pencil. So if you're looking to do digital art, I would not try to get a different, third-party stylist. I would kind of look at your budget and see, can I account for this Apple Pencil? If you can account for the Apple Pencil by getting the more inexpensive iPad, I think that's the way to go. Okay, the next question I got asked a bunch is, would I recommend the iPad Mini or the iPad Air? I'm gonna be looking down at my screen because I did write down some technical stuff. They are similar, really similar technically, but right now, looking at just specs, the Mini is upgraded more than the Air, and a lot of people are talking about how the Mini spec-wise is cheaper and better than the Air. And although that's true for sure, it might be more decked out, but if you're looking at it on a practical level, I've talked about this like a bunch of times already in this video, the user experience is going to depend on your preference. So if you notice that while you're working, you wish you had a bigger screen, that's going to transfer into this kind of thing as well. If you notice you want a bigger screen, you're going to want to go with the Air. If you are okay or you value having something that's more affordable, I think that the Mini is a great price point, and it's a great device. And of course, like I mentioned, my area of expertise is kind of digital planning. So a question I got asked is, can you digital plan on the Mini, or is it too small? And you can absolutely plan on the digital. You can absolutely digital plan on the Mini. I made a little reel. I'm going to insert it right here so you can see. I had no problem with it. You just have to be okay with zooming in and out, which I am. It's actually something I really like about So that is the roundup of my questions that I got from you guys. If you have any other ones, let me know below. Send me a DM on Instagram or on Etsy or somewhere, and I would be happy to answer them for you. Again, these are just all my personal preferences. I am definitely not a tech reviewer, just someone who uses an iPad every day in their daily life, and I love them. So let me know what you'd like to see from me next. If you liked this video, if you like digital planning, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, stick around, and I will see you next week.